Hi, welcome to Cariboo Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today I'm going to be doing a video about raspberries. So I am at my sister's in the central interior of Saskatchewan, and she is going to be giving me some volunteer raspberry plants from her raspberries. So her raspberries we've been picking from them, or she has been picking from them for the last 2 weeks. And I mean, she has quite an established raspberry patch. Mine, on the other hand, is still fairly new. She has given me some of these raspberries probably about 5 years ago. She gave me a bunch of raspberry canes, and I'm just going to get a couple more from her so that we can fill in the gaps. When you have raspberries, you want to be picking your raspberries a couple of times a week. All you need to do is, if you can pull the raspberries fairly easy off of the canes, you don't want to be having to squeeze them to pull them off. They should be able to come off fairly easy. When you are picking raspberries, we use an ice cream bucket, a plastic bucket, but you'd only want to have it a couple of inches high in layers, because if I was to fill this bucket up, the ones on the bottom would get squashed. So you definitely just want to have a couple of inches of a layer of raspberries in your bucket, and then grab another bucket or empty these out. With raspberries, after you've picked them, you can store them in your fridge until you want to use them. Raspberries are actually best if you do not wash them, because they will also get mushy once you've washed them. What I do is I don't usually use my raspberries right away unless I have a plan for my raspberries. There are so many different recipes that you can do with raspberries. They're so versatile. But usually what I do is I pick my raspberries, I'll bring them in, I dump them onto a cookie sheet, and then I pick through those raspberries and pick out the best ones, take out the ugly ones, make sure that there is still none attached to the blossom end. So you'll pull out that blossom end if they are attached to that, and then you can just stick I usually just do a single layer of raspberries on a cookie sheet, and then you can put them into your freezer, freeze them, and then pour them into a freezer bag or into a container, however you're wanting to store them in your freezer. So in this raspberry patch, there are a lot of suckers that are coming up. And here I have one that's here, and it's probably about a good 6-7 inches tall. So we are going to start by digging this one up, and then we have some more. I'm only going to get about 5 or 6 raspberry canes. So my sister, she's the professional, she is going to dig them up.
And I heard the root snap, so that's good. And we're just going to put that in there.
Okay, we've already got a bucket ready to go.
And now we're going to go to the other end where there's a bunch of them.
Okay, so we have quite a few more of the raspberry suckers coming in at the back end of the raspberries. And so we are going to dig these ones up. There's one even way over here too.
And we're fighting horseflies today.
Oh yes, those horseflies, they are so bad, they take out chunks. They bite you bad. Well, that one
didn't let go. There we go.
So we got one, and even then we've pulled it out and it's still got some pretty good roots on them. So that's good. And I only need a few more, not very many.
We'll give you the nice ones. That's a crooked one.
Oh yeah.
So we'll give you the nice
okay.
one.
So that's 4. I think I only need one more.
Might want. Oh, you turd. There, it snapped.
Well, maybe one more for good measure.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Okay.
This guy here.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one. These ones are quite a bit taller than that first one I picked out.
There you go.
Okay, great. This is a fairly well-established raspberry patch. My sister, she moved out here to be with her husband, and he is out here and they run a family farm, and it's mostly of crops, not livestock. And so this raspberry patch was already well established. She has no idea what variety these raspberries are. Some of the raspberries that I have purchased, I have Heritage and Boyne, and they are both a summer bearing variety of raspberries. These are as well, as you can see, we just don't know what variety. There are many varieties of raspberries that you can get. When I go to plant these raspberries in the ground, when I get back to BC, I will put them into the ground. We want to space them about 16 inches apart. Then I'm going to plant them fairly shallow, and then I'm going to cut the tops of the canes back to 8 inches apart after I have planted them. So I kind of talked about what I did with my raspberries. Mostly I just pick them, freeze them on cookie sheets and put them into freezer bags, and then later I will use them, whether it's for putting in cakes, putting in a cheesecake, I'll thaw them out, or throw them in frozen. Either way works good. Or I'll thaw out quite a few bags and I'll make a batch of raspberry jam. What do you do with yours, Sandy?
Primarily I make do the same thing, freeze them on the cookie sheets. It just makes them easier to then portion out to put into whatever. And it'll be either mash them up and put some sugar with them and eat them over ice cream.
Yeah.
I also use them for pies and jam. Haven't done jelly with them, but I probably have enough abundance to do up the jelly because you end up wasting a lot of the pulp when you do that.
Yeah, I have nowhere near the amount that, and as you've seen in my videos, I have nowhere near the amount that my sister has. It's a very well-established strawberry bed. I said that I knew some of the varieties of mine, but I didn't think you knew what these were.
I have no idea what the varieties are because this patch was planted probably about the time my husband was born on this farm. And so, yeah, this patch is probably 40 to 50 years old, and
still producing strong.
and yeah, so I don't know. I never asked my mother-in-law what varieties she had planted in here, but in the springtime when I clean out all the dead canes, I probably have somewhere's about 15 stalks in here, and as you can see, it looks pretty pathetic, and I sit there and every year it's like, oh my gosh, did I take out too much? I overdid it. And then she just fills right in, and I have to actually till fairly close around here to keep it hemmed in.
Now, these are just a summer bearing, they're not a fall bearing variety?
No, they're not fall bearing.
Okay. Because there are some fall bearing varieties, but I didn't think these were.
These start to produce, you can start picking them. We start picking mid-July, again, depending on the weather. And we are normally picking until the end of August, sometimes into September. Like they just keep coming. And it's kind of funny. I've been out here working in the garden and I can hear my raspberry patches humming because there are so many bees in here.
And that's good because they help to pollinate them going from flower to flower. And so that's not a bad thing when you hear the bees coming in. But yeah, I love the bees. I just don't like the horseflies.
You know, horseflies and deer flies are kind of ugly. We're picking in the heat of the day, so the mosquitoes aren't bad. But if you come out in the evening when temperatures are a little nicer, then we have a tendency to get eaten by mosquitoes.
Yeah. So, well, there you have it. That's what we do with our raspberries. Got myself some more raspberry plants that I can take home with me and plant these back in British Columbia, and things will be good. I'll have fill in some of my empty spaces that I have in my garden. So any of you should let me know what you do with your raspberries from your raspberry canes that you pick. There are so many ways to do raspberries. I'd love to hear about the ways that you process your raspberries and how you utilize them. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.